Hey there, welcome back. If we haven't met yet, my name is Tiffany. Today I'm going to be showing you how I've decorated our home with items that were headed to the dump. In addition to that, I'll be sharing a little miniature room makeover. Let's go ahead and jump right in. If you haven't been to one of these stores before, I've heard them referred to as the Goodwill bins, the Goodwill outlet. I've heard it referred to as the last chance Goodwill, and that's because this is the last stop for these items before they are headed to the dump. Although I found our regular Goodwill stores to be pretty expensive now, this store, on the other hand, is still very affordable. Every store is different. At ours, they're currently charging $1.29 per pound for housewares. And if you find something that's over 3 pounds, they'll charge you a flat rate for that to help keep it affordable. The Goodwill price tags you're seeing here are from the regular Goodwill store. But again, here they're charging by the pound, but sometimes it's kind of fascinating to see what they were going to charge for these items. If you're in the market for one-of-a-kind, unique pieces, they have plenty to pick from here. Sometimes items are super tangled up in there and you have to decide if it's worth it to you to get them out. Although this was a very unique design on here, it wasn't exactly my style. After several coats with the coffee, it wasn't quite the look I was going for. I thought this was a really cool box. I don't really know what this is. If you guys do, please share. But I love adding these unique wooden pieces to our home. I feel like it adds some visual interest and some character. I thought this lacy looking vase was really pretty. I see these quite often at the Goodwill outlet. I wanted to add some extra height to it, so I added this galvanized vase that I had on hand. Although this was a heavier wooden tray, they were so kind to offer to sell this to me for $1 because of the condition of it. One thing I've found with candles or battery operated candles from the Goodwill bins is frequently they're covered in debris. I don't have a great solution for getting all of the little pieces that have gotten embedded into the wax out. If you have any tips, I would really appreciate it if you would share. Here I'm using this heat gun on low, and I made sure to keep it moving. If doing this with a battery operated candle, be sure to first remove those batteries. By melting the wax just a little bit, it seeped through that tissue paper. So now instead of that paper being on top of the wax, it's embedded into the candle. I decided to try using the same wax that I used on the cutting board with this. As you can see, it was not going well, so I decided to quit and change directions. Here I'm applying a whitewash. I picked this up out of the bins and hung this by the door that we go in and out of most. This is where we put all of our outgoing mail and any returns, and this is helping to keep them from piling up on the washing machine. This has been such a great functional addition to our kitchen. This holds 3 loaves of bread, so it's freeing up some cupboard space. When I find nice wallpapers at the Goodwill outlet, I like to pick those up and stash them away. A little later in this video, I'll show you where I used some Goodwill outlet wallpaper. After thoroughly washing this bowl with soap and water, as you can see, there was still some discoloration on here. When I'm applying a finish to a piece, if possible, I like to first flip it over and test that finish on the bottom to decide exactly what I want to do with it. I liked these candle holders. I'm not quite sure what was up with these wires here. I'm assuming originally they had another piece and those wires held them in place. Last video, I briefly mentioned that we have a little makeshift toy room under our stairs. Although it's functioned well, I thought we could cute it up a little bit. I had our 5-year-old draw up her dream design for the room, and she wanted a wreath and a shelf with some flowers on it. This bit holder is wonderful. You can attach it right to the back of your drill and it holds those bits in place super well. And when it's time to switch out to a different bit, you don't have to go searching for one. They're right there. It's so easy to swap them out. When removing nails, I like to use a piece of cardboard or wood to act as a barrier between the hammer and the wall or whatever I'm removing that nail from. And that helps to prevent it from causing damage as you pry. I wanted to freshen up the paint on the front section of this little room. I went out to our garage and found this semi-gloss. I wouldn't typically choose a semi-gloss to put on walls, but because I know that there are going to be kids playing in here, I thought this would be a good, easy to clean option. I picked this up out of the bins several months back. If I knew what I was doing here with wallpapering, I would give you a tutorial. I'm definitely not qualified to do that. If you're looking for advice on wallpapering, do a search online. There are some great tutorials. You'll notice some makeshift tools here. I did not plan ahead and go out and buy proper wallpapering tools. As I often do, I just decided to make what I had work. One downside to buying wallpaper at a thrift store, it's really difficult to get more. I was pretty sure that I had enough to finish this project, but I wasn't sure. And sure enough, once I got to this section, I was pretty much out of paper. But I was determined to finish it up because this is just a little playroom for our kids. I wasn't too concerned about it being perfect, so I decided to push through. I used what I had left and pieced it together, and I have a bit of a Frankenstein wall here, but we made it work. Many years ago, I built this little privacy screen out of some scrap wood we had. We've since torn down the deck that was used on, and this has been sitting unused for years. I first started by washing up these boards and letting them dry. If you're in the market for a pin nailer, I highly suggest picking up one that is battery operated. I love not having to mess with lugging around a big heavy air compressor. Here my husband's using a track saw. This is definitely not a must-have tool, but it comes in super handy sometimes, especially for jobs like this. I also found these in the bins. My original plan was to just use the chalkboard here, but then I got to thinking that I was going to be cleaning up chalk all the time. So I decided to order this board and attach it. To charge it, I just remove this piece here and plug it in, and then once charged, I just snap it back on. The kids seem to really enjoy these roller boards. Because the door gets left open to that little toy room quite often, I decided to neutralize the color of the bottoms of these. I left the top alone so there's still the color and the design, but now when they're stored away, they will blend in. I did end up ordering this toy box from Amazon. It holds a lot and I love that it has these lids and they're kind of self-closing. We'd been using these wooden crates previously to store toys, but I decided to repurpose them. Overall, repurposing items we had on hand, using items from the Goodwill outlet, and including the few pieces that I did pick up new. In total, I spent about $75 on this space. And no matter what time of year it is, when I find seasonal decor in the Goodwill bins that I like, I go ahead and pick it up. This year I plan to incorporate some new colors into my seasonal decor, so I've been gathering that throughout the year. I thought these were really pretty. They were very tangled up, but I think they were worth the effort to untangle them. I can't tell you the last time that I bought wrapping paper or gift bags new, because I find them all the time at the Goodwill outlet. If you enjoyed this video, would you please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button? And if you too enjoy creating beautiful spaces on a budget, I think you'll really enjoy this video. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'll see you next time.